Welcome back. Right then, we have Train, the second map of this best of 3 series. That was a great first game of Dust 2. I think Avangar are on a back foot now. They must have felt like they were solid for that one. Man, I really enjoyed those plays around the mid doors. They were really awesome. From Jame, the way like Forrest came in like Shang Tsung towards the end. Did the Jame play, then elevated his position as well, but Jame was far away, or I think it was Jame, further away from the door. Anyways, there's so many little things and nuances, and just the learning through the game and how we were able to communicate that to you, the viewer, was awesome. It was stimulating for me, and I'm sure it was for these two as well. What do we expect from Train?
I actually feel like with how NiP are playing, they're probably going to win Train. As I expected Avangar to win Dust 2. We saw how close it was. What was interesting for me is how NiP got stronger over the course of the game. They learned the sort of what Avangar are up to. They have made better adaptations individually. They're performing really well and very consistently. For Train, for me, I'm looking to see if they have a similar T-side to the Nuke from yesterday, because we know that it's a map that NiP really like to play. Dennis is looking really good in general, and he's critical on Train. So I think it's gonna be dominant.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be about the T side, NiP's T side. If they get a strong T side, I think it's gonna be crushing.
I want to see if Jamie is able to pick that T middle. There's some times where he'll be very aggressive towards the E-box peak at least, and I want to see how NiP would adjust to that. Because again, from on Dust 2, Avangar had a really good game plan. He said working the middle doors, hitting up catwalk every once in a while, but NiP, they adjusted nicely. They showed their experience that those little small adjustments, especially like Lecro taking up the AWP and just started dominating it in that A bomb site. So it's going to be a game of adjustments once teams get familiar with each other on that style and Train.
I think this will be a good learning experience for us, because we played Train yesterday on the CT side. The A bomb site was hard to hold for you guys. I was on B, B was almost fine. But you guys, yeah, I'm pointing fingers. I got loads of fingers.
I'm looking forward to seeing how what Get Right's up to on Inner, actually, because he's been playing Inner for like 15 years. I don't know, like a long time on Train. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the dynamics will be, because it used to be that you would be pretty aggressive on Inner. That actually used to be fairly common. You throw smokes, you get into smokes. But I don't feel like we see that as much these days. I think that's sort of how the meta has developed, that people are better at defending as on the T side, and you don't want to give up that frag. So
you can find me here, 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 sometimes up there, and sometimes rarely back here. These are generally the places where you'll find me playing on the B bomb site of Train.
Stop giving away your secrets.
For the most part.
That's why we're losing.
He just
Everyone
pointed to
knows what
everywhere
you're
on the
doing.
About? You're losing A. I'm rotating. What are you talking about? I can see him laughing. Yeah. There were a few rounds where people just ran into B. It's like, well, there's not much you can do in those situations, if you're playing 1B. But yeah, it's fun. I like playing Ivy as well. But I really did learn a lot from MIBR's videos on playing A of Train. But the problem is that you need, like in different maps, in a pug situation, for example, you can play a position, right? Like just leave the ignorance to be ignorant. But on Train, I feel like you really need to have some kind of synergy. You need to know that certain angles are covered. So I think it's a lot more of a difficult proposition, but very interesting. IV is very, very crucial point to hold. So I think this will be an interesting game of Nuke. I don't know Nuke of Train. I don't know what to expect from Avangar. Obviously, NiP have to be a favorite at this point. So that's very curious. Do we have updated odds on the match rather? All right, so it's got a bit larger now. Ninjas in Pajamas obviously a higher favorite, being one map up. And how far away are we from the game itself? Knife is being finished at the moment.
We do see a lot of teams working the IV a lot these days, like 2 or 3 IV. VP used to do that almost all the time, like way back in the days. But it is a very important choke point to because a lot of teams they push ladder E-box kind of up close sometimes, and in order to counter that, you can't just rush out and try to butt heads. But if you want to take a more of a methodical approach, work that IV, try to pick the person off, and then you could make space for the Ts, because the CTs have to look back and forth if you take that IV.
You have to split. You have to create splits on Train, and they have to be coordinated at the same time. And if you don't have any Ivy control, it's, I think, really difficult because, as you say, it's less of an argument for the CTs to actually fall back from their forward positions, and that's one of the best ways that they can split up your attack. And that's one of the best ways to attack the bomb site because, you know, you have all these open spaces and trains to work from. So at the very least of Ivy, you can set up a split from Ivy and T main. You can just deal with Pop Dog with a smoke or something. You don't have to retake it. But the other thing too about Ivy, which is really cool, is that you can actually set up lurks with it as well, and always keep a player occupied there. And that's something you can consistently do. And we see the power of that, you know, and, you know, of consistently doing something like we talked about, throwing the smoke on Catwalk, on Dust 2, that you can execute behind. And so keeping that up every round, or it's the 2 smokes outside on Train, for example. Like, you always need to have something which can be anything.
Yeah.
There's a simple set of grenades on the T side which you can throw towards Ivy, bounce the smoke off the right wall to take out the CT side of Ivy, and then a molly towards the A site side, which denies information you can creep up behind it or not. Or if you have that and then somebody from above Pop smokes towards Ivy, then there's a lot of decisions to make, and it pulls people out of the positions that they want to play. We may see some of that later. That was close for Rez. Do wonder if the wall got in the way a little there. So they'll start slow ninjas in pajamas. There's just a 1 P250 for them. You can see Rez start to close the distance. That's 2 players he spotted now towards that Ivy position. So there's a big focus here. But where is the hole for ninjas in pajamas? That's what they need to figure out. Ooh, there is a gap in that. In the meantime, there's a burst towards the bomb site, jumping, but Kika somehow gets 2 headshots out of that.
Yeah, nice tracking aim from him. Deep smoke, side plant. Make things a bit more difficult for the CTs. Trying to get closer. I like this. Flash forwards through the smoke. Forrest will be blinded as well for the moment as he falls back. He's got to get a quick kill here. Just make it 2v3 straight away. But Buster will take him down as he's peeking. And Gary in a 1 versus 4. Don't know how easy this is going to be for Get Right. And it will not go all too well for him. But the bomb does go down. And with that options to keep the pressure up and go for a force buy, I think there's so many good ways you can play a force buy on the T side of Train. I feel like you should just do it. Like 80% of the time, I feel like you should be getting it in there.
On T side.
It depends. I mean, it depends if you're a team that likes more set piece oriented playstyle.
Yeah.
But at the same time, okay, maybe not 80%. I feel like also, of course, if you want to, I think for NiP, what is kind of cool is getting the AKs out as soon as possible. So you could either do the force buy with dropping a couple AKs, or do it like this, and in the following rounds, find a way to get the AKs out in the yard through Pop and through T main, and just DM.
And also sometimes guarantees that AWP on the next full buy round. A lot of times, instead of maybe doing AKs and limited utility on the 3rd round.
Indeed, indeed. Scout's dangerous. 1 tag from the Scout means 1 bullet from the Deagle anywhere on the body is going to be a successful kill. But can they find ways to make it happen? Scope is heard. I think that kind of baited Jame, actually. Rez gets the kill. It begins, perhaps. Sanji and Pop Dog is a problem, though. Because as they come out of the choke point, they're looking towards the bomb train, and Sanji can just hit them from the side.
Fishing for more. Again, it is more to NiP's advantage if they're in main with Deagles holding a tight angle, and Avangar are trying to engage them in those tight angles. Now Lecro has got himself into a potentially round-winning position. However, Keycut seems to have an idea of something maybe. Well, they realize what they're not covering. So he's all the way back in CT spawn, but he's missed Lecro going towards connector now. So this is a very interesting position. If Lecro makes 1 step, Keycut may have... Oh. Has he been heard? He has now. The scope! Oh, he needed to find that kill, but he doesn't. He fails, and they haven't made it to the bomb site just yet. But they will trade the kill, so now they can plant the bomb at least.
That Scout got 3 connections in this round, I think, at least. So that could have been... That's kind of crazy, because if Lecro gets that kill, he picks up an AUG. He's got a position, and wherever he wants, CT, keep holding connector.
It'd be a way different round.
It would be a heavily favored NiP round. But that said, they got 2 kills, they got the bomb down, and the AKs are out guaranteed. So ultimately, it may not be too huge of a problem if they're able to convert this round. But the AWP comes out for Jame in this round, and that will change the dynamics somewhat, considering how strong he is with it. And for NiP, they've got so much in the way of utility thanks to the bomb plant that they don't have to play very quickly. They can play fairly slow, try to bait out as much utility from their opponents as possible. They'll go for the initial smokes, try to bait out a response. And Forest will be fed straight into James, so now they know exactly where he is.
Pump fake.
And maybe it's down to the players working inner now to find an opening. There is an opening towards inner at the moment. It's just Sanji with an MP9 and a Kiko with an AUG. So there's definitely work to be done here if they choose to go through inner. But perhaps they want to get ready to pressure Ivy first.
This is the grenades I was talking about. The smoke to the left-hand side, the molly to the right-hand side. Get right being smoked off at very timely fashion though, which makes it a bit rough, but you can see it's really vulnerable. There's no trade frag situation in that spot, but we move over towards the B-bomb site now. Sanji creeping around the corner. There's Rez taking out Wes, second player, had a play by, oh, he was in the red, but he couldn't quite hit the mark there. Jame, he actually took out Lekro, but the trades continue, and Get Right's on the wrong bomb side. Oh, he's still alive, 16 HP. There is time to try and do something. The flashbang won't come fast enough, though, and that will be the round for Avangar. Very fast moving across the map.
That was a close one. Good adjustment by NiP to swing through towards the inner bomb sites. But we can see James the problem. Getting that first pick on Ivy, that really massively hamstrung NiP's game plan at the beginning at least. Okay, well, okay, NiP are going to be going fast this round. They've got 2 smokes, 3 smokes, a CZ, no utility now on 4 players. Surely they're going fast. Or maybe not. Straight to inner, perhaps. They just did this the last round, these 2 smokes outside. So it suggests that they'll probably be throwing those almost every single round.
Conditioning your opponent.
Footsteps towards B through the smoke. He gets got a slight angle off the ladder. We got some parkour. Ooh, marvelous stuff. That leaves Get Right and Dennis. 2 versus 4. Get Right trying to create some space with the grenades. Will he have time to redeploy all of them though? Having a look. Ends up in a double peak. Patient play from Avangar. Dennis has so much to do. No one on the bomb just yet. Continuing to deploy grenades. Trying to creep. Hiding in plain sight. Takes one out. He makes it expensive. The AWP will be rescued by Buster. 3 players survive again for Avangar.
Did NiP toss a pop flash, or did they just kind of went down?
I don't think they had a flash.
Now, do you guys think? Oh wait, they didn't have a flash, or they didn't?
Well, at least 4 players didn't have utility. Get Right had some utility, but I don't know if he threw anything except maybe a smoke down sidewalk or something.
I respect the hop down lore, catch him off guard, but I wish one of them would have at least a flash, because you could time it to where the flash won't really give away your spot if you do it at the same time. So you get a pop flash, and you still accomplish the same goal of peeking lore, you know, explosively. So it would be nice if they just had one flash list. And
Jame back at it again here, just changing his position, getting a pick early towards Pop Dog. Keeps giving Avangar just that edge that they need to keep the advantages until the round is done. Repositioning again, Jame. He's been very key so far. Good trade from Rez. Well, it can be planted as soon as the fire goes away, but this is still looking difficult for NiP. Oh, another side plant. I like that they've been favoring the side plants here.
Really trying to put himself in a round winning situation. Lekro spotted over the top of the smoke. Speaking of which, Forrest will see Fitch, and that's the last thing he sees as Avangar move to 5. A clean 5-0. We are seeing a lot of bomb plants. I think in so many of these T sides we've seen from Ninjas in Pajamas in the last two times they've been playing. They've planted a bomb so many times on their T side, but this time they're having a lot less success. Well, no success after that.
Yeah, Vanguard's doing really nicely on kind of staying back and not getting picked off, even though NiP gets to the bomb site, they plant the bomb. Staying alive is a huge part, especially for inside. It buys time for your teammates to rotate inside, because if you die instantly inside, the teams will just push. They get information. They'll get awkward off angles on you.
The problem as well is that they've been getting bomb plants, but every single time it's on the B bomb site, which is a lot harder to hold. And they often, by the time they get the plant, it's kind of like, oh, we're in a 2v4 at this point. So Avangar are doing too much before NiP get to that bomb plant. Good defense from Lecro. You gotta hold on to Pop Dog on the T side. Now, it's kind of cool because once you get that kill and you have the Pop Dog control in the 4v4, you have so many options as the Ts. They could even go around to Ivy, do a 2-2 split between Ivy and T main. They could do a 2-2 split, or just whatever way you want to arrange the numbers between Pop Dog and T main with the right smokes and flashes. They can go towards inner together. They can pretty much do anything. The only problem is Jame, really, with the AWP, and he's been moving around so much. You don't really know, if you're in NiP shoes, exactly how to think about Jame. And I guess maybe you just shouldn't. Just get your nades out. The QQ.
Still alive for now in the sandwich position, but he's sandwiched between two Ninjas and Pajamas players as well. Get Right's the one to take him out. Buster moving around IVs, maybe spotting the player on top of the train near main. James here to hold angles as well, but Dennis doesn't give him a second chance. Headshots galore. Ninjas and Pajamas trying to force their first round in this half. And there it is. Forest with some savage headshots. It is a team effort, however. Swarming the A bomb site. This was pretty awesome. Oh, that is a next level bait from Lecro. I love that. I respect that. That is awesome. That is some serious chess right there. Nothing but queen pieces from Lecro.
Very nice move, and I see you write down your notes.
Oh yes.
I like it. And NiP kind of got lucky on some of that timing and outside, just coming out to your middle. But hey, that's what this game's all about sometimes, right? Timing, luck, and headshots.
Oh, luck, if you ask some people. It's only luck.
Only luck.
That actually used to be a thing. People used to, like when I used to play a lot, people used to throw around, oh, it's lucky, like a lot. But I don't really see it these days. You know, the culture's changed. People no longer think about luck. That's good. You make your own luck.
Like that.
Which is very true. Oh, aggression in team main here from Avangar. They don't have much utility, so they want to take some position on the map. That's really important. So this is interesting for NiP. One of the reasons why you'd want to take retake T main is so that it's not super easy for Avangar just to all look Ivy.
Look at the B bomb site.
Oh.
There's nobody there, and there's no one around the bomb now for Ninjas in Pajamas. The second smoke towards Ivy gave the game away that there were two players there. And Avangar with the hard read, just going hard body on the A bomb site. Everyone there.
They had all five. That's random.
It's not often you see that as a reaction in a 5v5. Beautiful stuff.
Did they push B a bit? I mean, I just saw the T main push from Avangar. How did they make the hard read?
Maybe they did. I'm not sure.
Because I don't think they pushed Pop Dog either. And they didn't push. Obviously, they had some presence on Ivy.
So have to go back and watch that round.
So how do they know?
Who told them? So if you're NiP right now, you're getting smashed on your T side. You're trying to do these slow strats, not working. Maybe use a spawn, maybe try to outgun him. But Avangar's been pretty good on just kind of holding back and out shooting in general.
Well, we know where Lecro is going this round, that's for sure.
He's going to be
Pop Dog.
Pop Dog or Olaf.
Definitely Pop Dog.
This is a good Olaf spawn. This is the Olaf spawn. So if you have the spawn usually, and if you do an outside rush, it's always nice to get, because you could sneak right in there.
Oh, that's cool. That's honestly looks really cool.
I feel like you could use a Zeus. It's cheaper.
Pop Dog.
Because even, I don't think he's necessarily guaranteed a kill with the Sworn Off if someone were to push him.
Get more money though.
It looks awesome though,
That's
James.
true.
It looks really cool.
But I don't think it offsets the cost of the shotgun. Once you go outside, you're going to need something else. Rez only good for the 1 kill. Fitch with a 2k. And now Lecro certainly has distance problems. I honestly think Aziz, if you've got a good spawn, Aziz is a viable point there for us running towards the AWP, but he will be denied. Now, if there are smokes, maybe Lecro can do something, but what is the plan here? Dennis showing presence. It's a lovely tap from Dennis. Lecro gets taken out, put out of his misery with a sawed-off shotgun, and 3 kills is fantastic for Ninjas in Pyjamas, all things considered. Considering the investment, I think that's a solid job.
How much is this on off now? Is it like 1,200 as well?
It's cheap.
I think it's about 1,200.
I never buy it, so I have no idea. I think 1,200 sounds right.
I buy it sometimes for Inferno, for a laugh. Going into apps, because I just like annoying people. I'll peek boiler and headshot someone with it. And because I feel like it's just that psychological warfare. I'm doing it because I can, and because it'll make you play worse afterwards because you're mad. But honestly, I think a taser is worth the gamble. If you think you've got a spawn to get down the ladder, I think a taser is worth the gamble over a sword off, or worth considering anyway in that position.
Sawn off for days. I haven't played with the sawn off in ages. We
played Nuke yesterday, and at a CT pistol, I bought only a taser, and I tased somebody coming out squeaky in the first round. That was brilliant.
You're all about the knives and taser. Like, I saw the knife kill on your knife. There's, what, like 7,000 on that bad boy?
I got seven. It's close to 7,500 knife kills.
My
But I have about 9 knives as well. That's the problem. But that's only one with stat track. So I try and keep that one on the CT side, because that's where the opportunities lie for the most part. But
it's so many knife
there's
kills.
more than that. If you look at my stats on CSGO, I think it's like my top 3 weapons, or top 5 for sure. One of them is a knife.
You're like Rambo. Like, get
I try,
close
yeah.
and
I'm a
personal.
big fan of Rambo.
See the white of their eyes.
We're good friends. 1 round for Ninjas in Pyjamas. I do wonder if Avangar will be winning their opponent's pick as Ninjas in Pyjamas did on Dust 2. We did see a recovery in the second half, though, from Avangar on Dust 2, and if NiP can string some rounds together, then the same can certainly happen here.
Looks like they're going back towards inner, though. They found a lot of bomb plants there, but again, it's kind of misleading, very deceptive, because B, you can get the bomb plants pretty easily, because the CTs will allow you the bomb plants often, so that they can keep their numbers alive for the retake. So, you know, it's a difficult one. This is a pretty dedicated setup here towards T main, so at this point, Avangar in their heads perhaps expecting there to be that split between Pop Dog and T main. If the smokes rain in, they get to shoot before, you know, ahead of the smokes, so not isolated away from the push. So we get NiP running back down Pop Dog here without T main control. Not sure that it's likely. Garrett goes down Pop, and in goes Dennis through T main. So they're trying to make it look perhaps like a fake. Oh, Get-Right really trying to solve the fake. If he can keep this going, that'd be really solid. But they have to take down Keycut as well. The rotation's pulled away from B. They have to kill Keycut, and they will. Get-Right's done enough, and he's actually survived as well. Get-Right's owned it towards Pop Dog, and now he's rejoined the push. Beautiful round from NiP.
It's kind of crazy that Keycut didn't get a frag there. That looks pretty crazy. Lecro watching Rez take plays out from up above. Fitch creeping. The sprays there from Lecro. That leaves Buster alone. And the money's not there, despite the successes of Avangar. Yeah, I think Keycut, he should get that kill most of the time. It was really bizarre.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah, I think he just maybe went for M4A4 spray with the AUG because he fired a lot of bullets, so I really don't know how he didn't get a kill there. I mean, he could have got 2 almost.
And he only did 40 damage.
Yeah.
So that's weird. That's just unlucky, unfortunate. And if he got like 1 or 2 kills, because 2 of them were lined up, that could have been a Vanguard's round. You know, get those 2 kills early.
Yeah, that's partly my issue with weapons that aren't the M4A4 is that I do M4A4 spray. So like sometimes the habit comes back. It's muscle memory. I can only assume that was what was going on. Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense.
And so what helped the Vanguard or NiP win that round was that kill by Get-Right. If you're tossing a fake, you toss nades or smokes, whatever, you have to get a kill. I can't stress this enough. It's too obvious if you don't do anything off the fake. You have to do something. Get a map control or a kill.
And also, it was Dennis had to show, or NiP had to show presence in team main as well. They're really solid. And yeah, it's a really good round from NiP. I really enjoyed it from them. The simple things, but the simple things done well. And the cleanup of the anti-eco. So the return to the scoreboard is here for NiP. They're going to be posting up a third round. And that's really good to see. Make it a bit more competitive. I think there's a strong chance we'll see, quite a few more rounds here from NiP. There has been a couple of rounds that have gone very close. I mean, we can see from the damage to the economy on Avangar that NiP are getting kills. There we go. Everyone's finished off. And, ooh, the money's a bit awkward here for Avangar, actually.
I was about to point that out from last round. We saw Sanji completely buy, and then three of them saved completely. Well, Sanji can't afford really a rifle or much utility or even a kit, so Vanguard always has these weird half buys or hero buys, and sometimes it kind of bites them in the long run.
Handicaps.
It handicaps you really in the long run if you keep, mess with your money.
I feel like it makes them quite reliant on Jaime in this round. You can see he's going for a pick. He hasn't shown that spot before for a pick, so he's really doing the rounds.
Again, we've got the grenades up towards the IV position. Now, Dennis, if someone's around the corner in hell, they would have heard that. So he has to consider that. Touching the Molotov. Smoking off the choke point, easily avoiding the flashbang, but there's nobody to cover the pop dog position, so Buster can't get there in time. He's got cover from Evox. That's a beautiful second frag. What excellent aim from him. Rez superior position, leaves Jaime 1 versus 2. He's got a frag in this round so far. They may have an idea of where he's coming from. Bombs planted. The barrel of his gun may give him away. Very fast, Jaime. So good. But where is Get Right? Lurking. If you don't know where he is, normally behind you. Jaime looking in every direction. Get Right, crab walking. Sees that no one is on the bomb. Now, where does he choose to hide? He has a rough idea of where Jaime could be. The scope will confirm it. Moving back towards the site. Just trying to bait something. Does he go around the back? Get Right. Of course he does. Beautiful stuff. Another round on the board for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
It's really hard to win clutches, like 1v1s on that bomb side in particular as a TT, but it was really well played by Get Right, played it by the book to guarantee the round. And that's really important because, again, the money was weird for Avangar, but the AWP was out on Jaime, and we've seen that he can be the X factor for Avangar with that AWP. And in defusing that, now NiP should be getting to 5 rounds now. They don't have much to contest against in this round. The Deagles and Scout and so on shouldn't be too much to trouble them. So NiP with a good shout at least getting 6 rounds in this half. And if you look at the beginning of the half, it really didn't look like that was going to be on the cards for them.
Looking rough now. It was 7-1, let's not forget. NiP could end up leading at half-time. Jaime very active, looking for something, but Ninjas in Pyjamas are comfortable with the clock. Okay, so we have the minute mark. Let's see if this will be the point where activity increases. See some vibrations on the Richter scale. Someone's reversing.
This is scary for Lekro.
I wonder if these reversing sounds are from the Valve car park. 40 seconds. Now, it's a question of choke points for me, because we have dangerous pistols. We don't have grenades, but we have dangerous pistols. I like the flashbang, but now what? 30 seconds. Choke points. Ninjas in Pyjamas are not through any of them. This is an anti-eco round. 25 seconds. Choke points. They're not through any of them. A suicide mission from Fitch. Not quite sure what the decision was there. Rez has made his way towards the bomb site. There is a player towards Ivy, but Sanji's in the hell position. Get right, caught with a grenade in his hand. It's a question of choke points. Rez on his own on the site. He's surrounded. Old bomb running distraction. The double peek from Hell and from Ivy. Choke points. don't have enough of them in your control, running the clock down, putting yourself in a position to fail.
Okay.
Oh dear.
You want to go first, Dan, or should I go first?
You go for it, mate.
So what NiP did right there, they wait until a minute before getting any map control or any idea if Avangar was pushed or not. And on top of that, they're so spread out that even if they found information, there's no way that NiP could exchange any kills. So a very questionable round from NiP. Just the fact that they had no map control at all by 1 minute, and they're all spread out, which they couldn't even, I guess, work anything if there were people there. And so it's just very awkward to say.
I feel like you need to have control of something. Oh, no, never mind. James going for the hero play over AWP. Only good for one shot, really, if more than one comes down. Very fast moving round now. Maybe NiP's hand is forced with that opportunity, but they're getting cut to pieces. You thought they'd be further along than this after James gets taken out with no response, moving up the ramp. Forrest is alone. Little chance of a bomb plant. This is turning into a disaster, but he could still bring this around because of the pace of the round. There's so much time on the clock. Spots one, but he is swatted. Only 2 frags for Ninjas in Pajamas. The AWP will be lost, but that's crazy.
And they're looking really lost in these last couple rounds. It's really difficult. There's such a fast kill. If you pause the rounds at that point when James dies, if you look at the positions of everybody, the CTs are so out of position that if NiP just keep running and using their utility, they get onto the site for a plant. So I'm not sure what happens.
Yeah, I think if you kill the main opper, like, you killed Jamie, who is the main opper for Avangar, there's no fear of op, and you should just rush down lower maybe at that point and just try to outrun any auger that's coming from connector.
Or your response is just immediately stop and then just call like a pause so that you can change the game plan.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 things you're looking for. But either way, they are out or trying to get down here. Sanji might get caught. No, looks like he will, but not after doing some serious damage. Forrest in the back. 2 versus 2 now. Garro's picked up an AUG and he's done some additional damage to James. Oh, an HE collected. Is that going to find James? Just a little bit of damage. Key cut now in the Ivy position. There's the smoke. Does he play in front of it? Oh, I think he must have been spotted there. That's pretty huge. James now with it all to do.
All right.
Wow, just holding the angle.
Ryzen uses all.
Somehow they bring it back, Ninjas in Pajamas. Look at the buy. They've got 1 AK and 4 deagles. 3 deagles, 3 or 4 deagles. And somehow they decimate the rounds. That's a great play from Get Right. I think there was a chance to go beyond that smoke grenade. But he didn't know what lied beyond. Took it safe. Apparently there's no safety from Get Right. What a back and forth game towards the end of the half. And now we're into the last round of the first half. And it is Avangar suffering from the shortcomings of their buy. James, though, has made his way towards upper B. I think he was having a look, didn't see much. That'll keep 4 players on the A bomb site for Avangar, and he may go to join him. He's hopping over towards Connector. So far, so good. Kiko taking out Rez. We've got a Deagle player moving forward. Kiko's gone, so is Sanji, as is Buster. Fits around the corner of the smoke. Can he pick the right timing? There's 3 players in the red, but he doesn't. Lecro, hyper aware. James can't know that all these 3 players are low unless they've all been headshot. Does he go with the pistol? Going with the AWP for now. Walking out like that, the barrel's going to concede his position. There's too many targets. Case in point, they see the barrel, and down he goes. 6 rounds for Ninjas in Pajamas. A difficult first half for them, but some late rounds give them a chance as we move through to the second half after this break.
would you rather stay? I watch you be and slowly walk away. I would rather leave. I'll take your heart and
Welcome back. NiP will be on the CT side now. 6 rounds for them. 4 players with Kevlar, Get Right with a smoke and a defuse kit. 2 players for Avangar with utility. Got some pot shots. Look at that's exactly where I would throw a smoke towards Ivy. Crouching, and I'll take it in the face.
The anti-James.
Minute 25. Dennis up top. I like going up to the very top of that ladder with a mag 7. So you're just in an elevated position. If somebody comes out, they're going to shoot you in the waist. And they're going to eat mag 7. One day, it'll happen. Connect to smoke. I need to learn that.
Shut down. It's a fake. It's all a ruse. Buster's there to cut off the rotation, pick himself up a tasty USP. Not too much, it seems like NiP can do out of position right now while the smokes are up. But they will wait, they'll be patient. Their time is now, as Rez takes down Key Kurtz. Buster challenged by Pop as well. There's James coming in for the assist, but there's so many NiP players here. And the defuse in the smoke is going to be easy. A preview of any future Vertigo's smoke diffusers.
Good job in NiP with that outside retake. They stuck together and made it really hard for the T's to get any individual kills in wide swing. Every time you peeked on NiP, there was like 2 or 3 of them in the area. And just good luck out shooting 3 NiP players at the same time. It's not going to work.
Hero AK-47. We keep seeing quite a few of these. I enjoy them. It is Jame without the helmet, however, who is using it maybe based on the spawn timing. Up he goes. You can have a nice running right-click flashbang to take the angle away from somebody on the ramp into B. The pistolers will go first. Now, Dennis needs to consider his position because he might throw a shadow on the floor if he was more to his right-hand side. Being to his left, it helps him avoid the flashbangs as well. But that can be a clue if someone's looking down. If you see the shadow there, you can jump down and have a pot shot, but he seems well positioned for the time being. Lekro focusing on the high area. That flashbang will be eaten though. It comes and goes. He's far back, and it is a shooting gallery for him. Repositioning. That's the AK spotted. Some damage done. Now the bomb is lost. What will he choose to do? Looking for engagers. Now 25 HP. Has to fall back. There's a flank as well. Passes the AK to his teammate, and the HE will finish off the job. The shrapnel. The landmine.
Bombs galore.
Easy hold. I would like to see NiP get aggressive this rounds. I want to see aggression.
You
High
think,
testosterone gameplay.
You think NiP will think that Avangar bot, even though when they saw the AKs and one of them with armor, head armor? You think it may trick NiP, or that be too smart?
I think they'll be aware that Avangar just do these things. Yeah, do these things.
I hope so.
Okay, so they have the deep incendiary behind the smoke there. NiP have some good nades outside. Kika has positioned himself through the halls with the rest of his teammates now, so they're going to go for the inner burst. Lekro is going to be good for a couple kills for sure in that UMP. It's a sure thing. It's a sure thing.
Flash over the top, avoided by Lekro, but he won't avoid bullets riddling his chest. Dennis looks sharp again, and he continues to do so, slightly changing his position each frag. Kika will eventually trade Jame in a red. Jame dead. Man advantage for Ninjas in Pyjamas. The bomb's being planted. There's no molly or HE to stop it. Smoke to create some space. Fitch will do the same towards the sidewalk position. But where can they really go? Fitch has picked up an AWP. Kika found himself another smoke, trying to avoid the spray of res, looking to punish the reload, and he will do exactly that. Got to be careful close to a smoke. Case in point. 2 versus 2. No smoke for defuse for Ninjas in Pyjamas, even in an attempt. Forrest has crept his way towards the site. One is by the sidewalk position. He hears a scope up top, but Kika's made it around the corner just in time. There he is, but there's no way he gets this last frag. Maybe he gets a kill, but he can't win the round. It's too late, even with the frag. Moving towards upper, he can take the AWP and go in the corner. He'll probably survive, but that is the round for Avangar. Double figures now, 10-8.
Wow, I thought that was going to go NiP's way after Dennis had such a strong hold. He delayed them so much as well. However, that push through the smoke from Kika, that was the play that really sent things into a bad place for the likes of the Ninjas in Pyjamjams. And both teams looking... Wait, who actually won the round? Because it's like, Avangar have a worse spy.
Vanguard did, so... Comes to your
Indeed.
question, James. Do you just save after you won a round, James?
No! You don't do that. It's not a thing.
Play to win.
You gotta play with your balls.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
None of this saving after winning. That's not what we
You've
do.
got to what?
Play with your balls, James.
No, it's...
What does that mean?
You play with balls.
Exactly.
You don't play with your...
Exactly.
Anyway, there's a minute on the clock for Avangar, and it's 4 versus 5. Molotov will send Fitch back up the ladder. Sanji has the bomb, and he makes his way towards Popdog and or B. And the creep begins. There are 2 smokes for Avangar. Do they jump down for the peak? Is it Operation Human Shield? Does Fitch go first? They start to spread. Lecro allows them in. He's opened the door. Tries to shut it on all of them. Shuts it on one. Dennis tries to force the rest out of the establishment. Sanji will get the plant, it seems. Molotov won't come in time as they jump up on the train. Creeping around the smokes. 2 targets. 1 frag. He will be the recipient. 4 players surviving for Ninjas in Pyjamas. The full spy, essentially, doesn't work out for Avangar. And the loss bonus is too low for the bomb plant to help them buy. They're in an eco situation now.
So I think NiP has a read of how Avangar is playing their T side. Avangar is known a lot of times as being slow, but also using numbers a lot of times to take over choke points. So NiP is playing 2 inside. They've been playing 2 inside for a lot of these rounds so far, and Avangar is pretty much running to an inside take when NiP has 2 to 3 people already in there. So maybe Avangar has to do something a little more loose, try to mix it up a little bit, make NiP kind of guess. But NiP is smartly, they change it up too. That's the beauty of this high-level play. You always got to change things up.
Woo! Living dangerously. He's playing with traffic. Slowly edging forwards. You can see Fitch doesn't know if anyone's in A main, so he's just trying to dance around, trying to jiggle. He wants to draw some gunfire to get an idea of the setup of Ninjas in Pyjamas and figure out how he can best try to land a headshot or more. Glass smashed above the pop dog, which could be to deploy some grenades. You can see them there working together. Running out of bullets though, really. Not really getting too much out of it. HE doesn't go too deep. Forrest, though, will. Maybe he went too deep himself, all things considered. Closing the distance with the pistols and eating a P250 shot. Now he's given them an AUG. They're in a 5v3 situation versus pistols, but now there's an upgrade for Avangar. And the shortage of personnel for Ninjas Pyjamas caused them some problems. It could have been worse. He sort of flanked from Ivy with the Deagle. It could have been a kill there, so it's a small thing, but perhaps an unnecessary risk after being tagged, then moving into main.
Yeah, that's where a lot of mistakes get made. I mean, I see this happen all the time, and I do it all the time as well. I'm trying to stop it, but the fact that like there's a spot where you feel like, oh, we have such an advantage, I can take a risk. When if you actually don't take a risk and just play safe, they are in an impossible situation. So just because you feel insulated, you feel secure, even if your risk goes wrong, that's actually not always the case. And there's often times when taking a risk is not worth it. That's not that risky though. It's a good peek, and it's going to reward NiP with the opening kill. First blood, but there is a beautiful frag. That's going to give a lot of info. I think Get Right saw everyone. They have to go fast, and they know it. Straight past the smoke, or maybe not. They'll be locked out. Timely smoke. That's just in time to stop them. And now it kind of resets the situation. What does the Vanguard do now? They've got 3 smokes. They could go and smoke outside now. But with Rez and Pop Dog, going outside is actually very difficult without clearing Pop Dog first. So maybe they just walk in it. That's another option that they have. But with the fast rotation from Pop, that's also a problem. I like this setup from NiP. It's cool to see that Dennis is in the between the bomb train, where he can guard against Ivy, but also support towards teammate if his teammates need the support.
Molotov to force Avangar into the open. Lekro delivering multiple kills. Kika on the high ground. James compromised by that Molotov, separated from his brethren. They're gone now. Will he expect second player? I don't think he will. You can see the walking. Kika offering a flashbang, repositioning. Forest will take Kika out, and James will do the same in kind. Now, he doesn't know where Dennis is, but Dennis knows where James is, roughly. He will reposition. He knows that he needs to change the information. Waiting for a touch of the bomb, maybe. Did he? Ooh, I don't know if he could see a shadow from there. Now he's got the sound cues. Sees the shadow as well and chooses to reposition up top. Just buying time. Only needs to take the Dennis off the bomb maybe one more time. Shadow.
Oh my goodness.
That's just so weird. Very unusual way to win a round, but Avangar will do it.
Yeah, and with the inner push too. NiP, you can see they felt like pretty safe. And the pretty crazy thing is that Echo gets 2 kills there. That's a very nice response. And this is the one thing you're worried about. You know, you have 2 players at Pop Dog, so when the push, or rather when you have to go for the retake, it does leave Dennis a bit alone out there in the yards with the AWP. But whatever, it's 11 to 10. Vanguard, good work from them. Jay trying to avoid the pop flashes. Unable to find anything though. Oh, dodges a double HE. They're going aggressive Ivy again. Okay, jumping across the left eye peak into the
That's so
right eye
good.
peak.
That's so good.
So, are they going to walk through this? Looks like they may well do so.
And nothing.
T-main and Ivy split is coming your way soon.
You can see Ninjas in Pajamas are prepared for a smoke by the box on the wall. So if they try to rotate back trains, then Get Right could see over the smoke. Here's a smoke. Somehow 2 of them have thrown the same smoke, so they've told NiP that there are at least 2 players here. That's a weird error to make. Suggests bad communication. Now, if they wanted to re-smoke it, how would they do it? If they have a 3rd smoke there, which they do on James if he throws the smoke, that's even more information for Ninjas in Pajamas. So this is a really weird spot. James has a diagonal angle towards the Pop Dog position, and there is Get Right taken out. Nobody watching main. This might just work out for Avangar.
Yeah, NiP really out of position somehow. We'll go back to that in a moment because Lekro is trying to do what he can around the side of the bomb train. And he has to do maybe everything. That's a nice quick flick onto Fitch as he looks for the next one. And it's going to be difficult. And everybody's falling at this point. And I think you're right, James. It was pretty telegraphed that at least NiP, if not knowing exactly what Avangar are doing, if you see 2 smokes from Ivy, it's because if you see the first smoke on Ivy, you're thinking, okay, well, they could be lurking it. And you don't really want to commit more than 2 to a lurk unless you're actually intending on actually going to that bomb site. So I think that was a big tell, that second smoke, as you said. But at that point, NiP's setup was completely about B.
That was.
And I have no idea why.
That was so weird. They had 2 inside, and Lecro was
Yeah.
in Z looking inside. There was
Yeah.
3 people inside after, and there's 30 seconds left. So I don't know. Maybe NiP thought it was too obvious. Like, why would they throw 2 smokes? You know, like that.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and as you say, teammate was so exposed. Very strange, and that could be the oversight that, or the misread that really cost NiP everything, because Avangar are looking dominant now on this T side. We knew this game would be close. This is a final. Week 4 final. We love finals.
Avangar in such a strong spot. Just overall on this map again. Ninjas in Pyjamas edged Avangar on Dust 2, which was Avangar's pick. And Avangar looked to do the same. Ninjas in Pyjamas looking to build their money. A comeback can still be had, of course. But it has to be noted that Avangar are in a strong position. They're going to make a lot of money from this particular round. They're unlikely to lose, or maybe lose 1 player. Lecro doesn't have much to save in this situation, so if you could find a 1v1 and steal a gun away, that would be fantastic.
So if I was PETA, the coach of NiP, you've lost the last couple rounds, but if you notice, the rounds that some of the rounds that NiP has lost was kind of some of it has to do with also spacing timing, like especially in inside when NiP would go up in numbers, but then they'd lose like a 2-on-3 situation or 3-on-4 or whatnot. You kind of think, well, maybe slow it down. You know, once it gets to that 3-on-3 situation, talk to each other, wait for each other, and peek together. Because maybe they're getting a little too bloodthirsty after they get those 1 or 2 kills in the bomb sites, and just keep repeaking. Maybe just fall back after those couple kills.
This is an example of, a further example of the strong position Avangar are in. Ninjas in Pyjamas can't really buy. Avangar already have a buy in a hole based on winning that round of no losses. They'd probably survive this one with 3 or 4 players alive as well. So there's going to be max pressure on Ninjas in Pyjamas, and they're the ones who are going to need to string rounds together, because otherwise it is going to be forced by territory for them, maybe against game points. So it's a high percentage situation. I don't know how Fitch has got here. I can see a player in sandwich.
Get here.
One in pop as well. And again, the sheer position just helps alleviate the potential stress of certain engagements of NiP around main and so on. Getting into a position like that. Although no one has joined him just yet. He's got Buster walking towards main, I suppose in case of an Ivy push. Sanji with mollies out. These guys need to get on the sites because Ninjas Pyjamas are continuing to creep. Kika spotting 1 player in Pop Dog. So there's only 1 question mark now for Ninjas Pyjamas. They know one's in Pop, but where is Dennis? It seems like they might have tunnel vision on the Pop Dog position, or maybe not. Sanji checking, and now Rez is the last one. So 2 rounds where Avangar survived with all 5 players. And look at the money on them.
The time is now for NiP to bring this back. They won the first map, Dust 2, and they can still win the second map if they're able to convert this one. The double orbs coming out for Forrest and Dennis. And it is a strange one. You know, it feels like NiP have just sort of... feels like they've lost the tempo of the game. Like they're sort of tuned out. They're trying to find that... they're trying to tune in onto the right radio station with that dial, but they can't quite find it through all the static. Really precise run boost there. Love to see that. So NiP setup looks a bit more normal this time, although often teams will play more towards A at the beginning of the rounds because of A rush timings. Then into the mid round, you can start putting an extra player on B if you suspect that the default, you know, the T side have run their default and now they're going towards the bomb side. Okay, is it going to be, do we suspect it'll be B or not? Often if you don't have the info, okay, that's a good nade. You'll get that second player in B, or you'll put someone into connector. But they have an interesting setup. They've got 2 in pop, Oh no. Oh. Good HE damage though, overall coming in from Avangar.
Ninja's Pajamas still hold their ground. Now we speak about choke points again. It looks worse when the CTs have map control with pistols and so on, 5.7s and the like. Execute buy versus buy. See how this one plays out. Smorgasbord of grenades on both sides. Oh my god, the Ferrari peek from Buster works out very, very well. Kiko taken out. One spotted towards oil by Dennis. It's at least information. Player towards oil has a diagonal vision across the bomb site towards the connector position. Finally, Dennis catches Buster. 2 versus 4 in favor of Ninjas in Pajamas. Not looking good for Avangar. Yeah, they've got so much money, it's kind of hard not to win this game, but Ninjas in Pajamas are going to force the issue.
Yeah, it's James left now, and he's done some crazy stuff so far, but misses the flick there, and he'll surely be taken out now. If Eagle comes into play, he's going to try to reset the situation, but Forrest has that covered. So indeed, another round for NiP. And Avangar, got to be frustrating to play against, just because of how slow they are playing. You never quite know what they're going to be up to. And when you play really slow rounds, some teams are going to be caught off guard more often, because when you play these really drawn out, long, slow rounds, focus does dwindle in certain spots. And you start to ask yourself many questions. Your mind starts to race.
It also conditions you to not use your utility in the early round to save it.
Yes.
So that had you a chance just to almost explode on unexpected players.
Change of pace. It's very effective sometimes. Pacing is everything in Counter-Strike. Well, that's a slow pace again from Avangar after the initial exchange. This is good from NiP. Taking over Pop Dog so much is a strong position to have. And if the other team's playing very slow, you get to have that position.
It's
And
yours.
you should take it. Nicely done.
Now what?
Well, they're pushing Ivy. And as soon as the Ivy players are in position, the guy with a team main can throw, Fitch can throw his smoke and grab the bomb.
Ooh! Might
They-
not want to do that too much.
Yeah, they're in trouble right now. They can get the Ivy team main split, but the two-man Pop Dog setup might be difficult to deal with. If Forrest just gets one kill, NiP should be in a pretty good spot.
Okay, 4v4, 20 seconds remaining. The bomb hasn't been seen just yet by Ninja in Pajamas. It certainly has now. Double Pop Dog play, that could be very, very interesting, because Avangar have Ivy, but they don't have Pop, so they need to plant back train. I don't know why they're not. How is he going to manage this? There is the stop, and that might just be the round. You've got to go for back train there. You've got no control of Pop Dog. You know someone's in there because you... that's so bizarre. They knew somebody was in Pop Dog because they shot at him. The guy carrying the bomb shot at Get Right in Pop Dog and then planted the bomb for Pop Dog.
That was a blunder. And he just killed a person in Z, so might as well play maybe a little safer.
Maybe he was saying, hold my Pop Dog. And then no one did.
Guys, cover me, I'm planning.
I see that so often in pugs as well. People just, like, someone will see a teammate planting and they just won't cover them.
Oh my god, he jumped backwards and 180'd.
That's the move I
Into
like
that
to
angle.
see. That's the Jamie move on this map. I love it.
Yeah,
What
he did it a couple times already this
the
half.
hell?
Avoid the pop flashes.
I tried doing it, but I get all dizzy.
You had some sick AWPing on train yesterday. You fantastic.
Wasn't enough. It was too late.
The Bez in phase.
I wait till round 28 to get the AWP.
So Pop Dog has been really important for NiP. And you can see Avangar keep trying to sort of half-heartedly take it away. They'll throw all these nades, but they don't often drop in. And the times they have, they get wiped out. So one thing that you may want to see, Well, I have to hold that thought, actually. We do have a lot of pressure coming here towards Ivy. And this is a huge leverage point for NiP as well. One frag. There's the second. Is the round gone now for Avangar? Because flashbangs come out. Get Right safely escapes. 2 unanswered kills. Excellent work from Mr. Get Right.
I like the presence of mind. He heard the scope earlier on around the flashbang. So he knows that there's a fair chance someone else is there. Drops the flashes to go away. Makes no assumptions like Avangar did. Again, Avangar had so much money, it was hard not to win Train, considering their position. But you could say that errors have been made. Money's looking tight for both sides now, but this is not a round that Avangar are going to win. Maybe they're afraid to win.
It's true. It could happen. But yeah, Avangar. Again, we talk about the pacing, especially on a map like Train. Going to keep playing slow. NiP, again, they are able to adjust. They're smart about their adjustments. You see the op on Dennis now, and he's been hitting some shots, been hitting some kills. Even though Avangar got the first kill, they don't check a corner. They get 2 kills or 2 deaths because of it. So it's like little things like that. If you're going to go that slow, you might as well check every nook and cranny and make sure you don't get cheesed, like what Right just did.
And the cool thing about that pick from Jamin that we just saw in the highlights is that if you play really slow, the CTs think they can get to Pop Dog for free and they'll make that run. So they're open to a fast play like that. They're more cautious this round, and Avangar try to get into Pop Dog again, but there's flames here, and that's going to give Rez position first. And status quo. It's back in action. Rez holding down Pop Dog. Avangar slowly vying for position. 2 on Ivy themselves. And 2 on Ivy for NiP. So NiP not going as heavy in the front of the AR, leaving it to Rez, which I think it makes a lot of sense, given Avangar's tendency to send a lot of people Ivy. Or they will split off some people here. And NiP playing really safe, 2 inner still.
This is the smoke take. Bounce it off the wall with some forward movement, and the Molotov on the other side. Sanji's only got the smoke going on the molly. Trying to duel in the Pop Dog position again. Rez. Oh, that's a really late push through the smoke. He let Rez reload completely.
What?
And then ran through the smoke. That's a really bizarre situation, and that may just shut everything down. Really bizarre. I mean, you can sometimes fake a reloads to bait people, but I don't know. It just seemed like hesitation. The reload's right in front of him.
Oh.
Pre-fire from Forest, and this is falling to pieces for Avangar.
That's the play as well to deal with Rez. You go out. This is what I said earlier. You go out T-main and Pop Dog at the same time. Then he has to fight, and you can trade him. He reloaded.
And the AUG reload's really long. It's a lot longer than the other rifles.
I was looking at this. I'm like clenching. Everything's clenched. How does he survive that?
And now you can see the confidence in NiP. Like, see Forrest right there jump shooting. You know you're on something. You're feeling it.
Oh,
when you start jump shooting people.
This is going to be like Dust 2 all over again. Avangar looking dominant, looking like they're going to be able to take it, and then when you least expect it, their momentum just dries up. They run out of steam, and NiP themselves grow in confidence and strength as the course of the half goes forwards. And with NiP now with all the tools that they possibly want in Forest on an AK, things definitely looking more grim. Avangar's utility is very limited, and we've seen how much they rely upon a full stock of utility, playing these incredibly slow rounds, and with this they are going to have to look for picks or speed up the pace. Those are the only options that are afforded them with what they have.
How's it come to this for Avangar? Running out of steam on the T side of Train. A worse buy than in their failures on the other rounds. So how will this one be any different? Forrest looking for Sanji. There is a trade though. And now everyone has a rifle. I don't know how many footsteps he heard. He knows at least one person is there. Rez and Pop Dog being such a problem for Avangar so far, and the ladder Kika is baited by his teammate by accident. And it just gets worse. He can't really peek like that. Oh my god. I don't know what to say.
Ooh. It's all going wrong suddenly. It's like they had such control of the game. And again, this is exactly like Dust 2. The adaptations that have been put in place by NiP, they were slow but considered, and we're seeing the result just in the nick of time. And indeed, it seems like they don't have, like, that pop dog position has been a huge boon
Look
to
at the timeout
NiP's
wins.
defense.
4 timeout wins in a row.
Oh my, yeah.
From 14-11,
Wow.
you've lost 4 rounds in a row by timeout. After, like, what happened to that string of rounds? They won 4 rounds by elimination. 14-11, you've lost 4 rounds by timeout.
Yeah, I mean, credit to NiP in the sense that they're just not giving them anything as well. But again, as I mentioned, like that pop dog position is a problem for Avangar, because you can't let the CTs have pop dog for it at this level. If you do, then they have fast flank opportunities towards B. They get more information. Oh, it's harder to split onto the A bomb site. It's a very strong position. Heavy Ivy again as well. They like to go heavy Ivy. Spotted. Get right, makes his way across. Rez picks up one from Pop Dog all the way down towards Ivy, I think. Now Avangar spread out, and that's going to help because Gerrit didn't know which way to look, nor does Lekro. And it seems like no one called the back lines, the old bomb, and Rez goes down as well. Dennis, 1 versus 3. It is doable. They have no idea where he's coming from. But they've all set up already in hidden positions. And they will absolutely be looking Ivy. Scope surely audible. What a strange round. Dennis in trouble. And it's overtime. Again.
How did that work?
No one I think no one called Sanji going back lines, it felt like.
It's unbelievable that there's no comms, no one even looked towards old bomb train or backside after Kiekert did get a kill on Forest pretty early.
Well, with that, we go to a break to collect ourselves. A timeout for the guys here. And then back into the action. See you soon.
Would you rather stay this close? It's better than being lonely, I suppose.
All right then, Avangar have a second shot at things. Their lead, their strong lead, had a 3-4 round lead. 3-round lead. Oh, no. Okay. Oh no, I suppose is the sentence.
He was about to shoot.
They had a 3-round lead. They lost 4 rounds in a row by timeout. But no, it wasn't just a lead. It was the economic lead as well. They had players of $10,000 at that point, and that's why I said I think they were afraid to win. You lost 4 rounds in a row by timeout. That's unprecedented.
Yeah, they just need to start speeding things up. They need to change things significantly because NiP had their number. Of course, yeah, and honestly, it was definitely an error from NiP.
The guy just 3 nades in the ladder. It's hilarious.
Nice, they're replacing the position. I like it. Ooh, nice.
Back at ya.
Yeah, so NiP had their number. It was an error on NiP's part that didn't seem wasn't expected from our end. That sort of conceded that overtime round. So Avangar, they've honestly they need to be counting their lucky stars because that was very fortunate and to allow them still a chance in this one. And had NiP won that round, it would have been curtains for Avangar, and instead they can still force a third map. So force the third map they will try to do.
With 3 grenades thrown above Pop, surely you have some expectation towards the B-bomb site. There is one, but there's no connection there. Lekro, oh, he's missing now. Are his best moments behind him? Kika taken out on the high ground. The bomb's planted. 4 players alive for Avangar. Buster keeping an eye on the ladder. No flank from the T side. Big rotation towards CT from NiP with the smoke on connector. James takes Lekro out. How did it get close to the bomb site? James has a Molotov. There's no smoke for the CTs. There are 3 kits on the 4 players. Big flashbang, get right, eats it, and looking away, begging for mercy. He'll be denied. A good first round from Avangar. They are making it very expensive for Ninjas in Pyjamas as well. Forrest fighting for dear life. He has to hold on to this AWP.
So, you know, one of you said it, I'm not sure who, but 3 HEs on Pop Dog, and NiP don't have anyone on B. So, and it's kind of interesting because it's kind of reminiscent of in regular time when there's lots of pressure towards A, and NiP have like 3 people in B or 2 people in B, really late round. It seems like NiP are sort of really misreading all of the information pretty heavily. I don't know if they have some additional knowledge about Avangar or what it might be, but they had no one in B in that round, which is just Lekro. Yeah, 3 nades in Pop Dog.
Which is wild because you saw 3 nades come down ladder, so that tells you what 3 people above ladder at one point in time in the round.
And it's not that common if you're going to go for an A hit that you'll put 3 in Pop Dog. It's pretty uncommon. And with the lack of pressure towards IV or T main, it does not suggest an A setup from the Ts.
There's some crucial shots missed by Lekro as well on that push, which could have made a difference. But there we are. Forrest concedes the angle. And here comes HE Mageddon again. Getting forced further and further away with 27 HP.
So this is a different round because they spotted presence on IV and they spotted a lot of presence towards Pop Dog. So now you can think, okay, it's more justified to have 4 people towards A like they did in the previous round, but they have 2 in inner again. So NiP often misreading the plays of Avangar, it seems. But Get Right's position so deep. Oh, how do you not get one there? That's so unfortunate for Get Right. 40 seconds to plant the bomb. Forrest has to look between IV and T-main, which doesn't really allow him to be that aggressive towards T-main on these peaks as he'd like to be, perhaps. 30 seconds. And Avangar, what are they up to?
That is a very timely smoke grenade. That gives Forrest some cover to look towards IV. The timing is brutal. Buster has the bomb in T-spawn with 20 seconds on the clock. Oh, this is going to be a gauntlet run if ever I saw one. There is a smoke down towards bottom B, but if he gets taken out, then it's... Oh, he's got a tight angle. 7 seconds. He's been distracted, and there is an opportunity. 2 versus 3. You can see the flank from Rez on the X-ray, and 2 players by Connector. Again, they're going round towards CT spawn, comfortable to take the long run. NiP Happy with the slow retakes, and it's Buster versus 3. Has no idea where the other players are. From default, how on earth do you win this? Percentage has to be low. They spot him, then a double peek comes in from Ninjas in Pajamas. 3 players surviving for them. That's much needed, as well as the AWP. They'll collect a second one as we move into the last round of the first half of the first overtime of the second map. Time pressure is a constant rather, for Avangar, it seems, in this instance of Train.
Yes, the rounds are very strange, just because it's a mixture of, one, how slow Avangar want to take things, and two, the fact that NiP seem to be struggling to put players in the right positions, or like to predict the setup based off the info that they get. Nice from Jane, once again makes the pick across the res. That is pretty huge. Ah, they're going to go towards inner, but this is going to... I don't know if you actually have players in position, but Lecro missed the key flick shot. And now Dennis. Will they expect Dennis to be here? Looks like they might not. Dennis could go huge! There's the first, the second, the spray's good. And now it's a question of just waiting for your teammate. But as I say that, Dennis re-peeks, Fitch puts one in his head. And I get right as a 1 versus 3. I don't know that he's been spotted, but it's a 1 versus 3. This is very tough. Finds a quick free one, but his position's given away now. And there is a player close. Oh, he spotted him. Get right, trying to do what he can here. Good HE. But it's also an AWP to worry about. Oh, good attempt from Get Right. He made the best of a terrible situation, but that will be the end of the first half. And you talked about Lecro missing some shots, James. That was a pretty pivotal one. If he hits that first one, he actually gets back around the corner.
I think Get Right Fight has gone to try and cover him going up the ladder, which is pretty cool. Little note there. Avangar, opportunity knocks once again. 1 round ahead of Ninjas in Pajamas at the moment. The T side was a struggle. This might be a relief for them. They did have some nice success at the beginning of their CT half, so maybe they can recapture some of that magic. 2 AWPs for them. This is a very important round. If they get wiped out, for example, then we may see a 3-0 for Ninjas in Pajamas. The chances of it would certainly increase. I love the boost on the Train. Very active. Avangar looking for something. HE off the wall. And 1, 2. Dennis with 9 HP. Avangar ready with these HEs.
And rushing towards A against a team that knows their nades, their pre-nades, is definitely risky. And a lot of teams are content to just say, the T's are content to say, you know what, we'll let you have those positions. And the CTs are like, we're happy to pay $1,500 or whatever it is for the utility used to gain those positions early in the round. So you almost get that kind of gentleman's agreement. Four players outside for Avangar. Perhaps expecting a late split onto the A site with smokes. There are the smokes. That'll keep rotation towards A. But it's a fake. And oh, that is stunning. What a shot. Into the B bomb side. NiP will go. They're looking really good here. Beautiful round from them so far, actually.
Bomb has indeed been planted. Very timely grenade. Rez doing some tagging. And Avangar will save, it seems. And this is a wise decision. Again, if they lose everything with an investment of double ops, you can see those guys don't have much money. That is wipeout territory. If they have to rebuy everything in the next round, then if you go 0-2, you're almost guaranteed to go 0-3. Or on paper you are.
Yeah.
All too often we see those pistol rounds won, but they shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's pretty smart to do that. Just save your guns, fight another day, you're out of position, outnumbered. Well, not outnumbered, kind of 5-on-5. Actually, no, Rez got the kill. So they're just outnumbered, and it's too hard to retake when you have the double off and just really out of position.
So the question now is, do NiP do the same? Because that was a fake. They just showed a fake. So do you just try to fake it again? That's a crazy shot. But yeah, so do you show a fake again? and just do exactly the same rounds? Or because if you're a Vanguard and you position the same way and those smokes happen, those are the mind games. It's like, it feels like a coin flip. Is it a fake? Is it not a fake?
I think if you fake again, you do it early. So you bait a lot of nades, you know, outside smokes, flashes, bait all the utility of Avangar.
Well, they are getting out a lot of utility early round as per usual. It's double HEs. This time, Dennis learned his lesson. And look at the utility dump there from Avangar. It is significant. Oh, that's a close one. Oh, no, he connected it. Jane doing great work as always. And NiP this time, I don't know actually what they were going for here, but it's not working out too well. Good defense from Avangar. They managed to stop the first couple players going through T main.
Maybe overzealous in the 5v2, walking through a smoke into main, but it seems like it's working out. Forest now left in that main position. He's fired his shot. Just be careful.
Is there a way to block the vision of a CT who's sitting on top of the boosting connector, like so that you don't get orbs
E-box smoke.
on top of E-box?
Not top, like I think E-box smoke will kind of cover you.
Okay.
I believe so. I think if you toss it, like if you toss a Z smoke or on bomb train, you can see over it.
Yeah.
I think it makes it harder, but I could be wrong actually. It's a hard one. You have to toss a pop flash over mid to at least blind the AWPer, sit in that spot. And you have like a 3-second window to either run out or post up. if
Right,
possible.
right.
Game points for Avangar. A chance at redemption, perhaps, after advantages lost in normal time. Forest looking for a boost from the CTs on the server. NiP must be careful. Everyone's got a goodbye. Initial clearance being done. It's Forest who's towards Ivy. Often you'll find get right with his lurk grenades, but on this occasion, that isn't the case. Even on the low ground, that'll still take a chunk away from Dennis. So, let's see. You've got a 2-man setup here. This is pretty cool. Just a dry peek, though. Oh, doesn't stay too long. Smoke off the position, but he had his teammate there with the AWP, so playing it safe. Can't complain too much. 40 seconds remaining. Ninjas in Pajamas approach the pop dog.
Forrest has crept out Ivy too. He drops the smoke, which will attract some attention and allows him to get into the backline. That Molotov is going to waste so much time. Forrest is going to use that time. Forrest has to maintain position. He has to force the action somehow here as his teammates are slowed down. He doesn't have a smoke for connector, which might be a problem. And Buster hits a key shot from Sandwich. Falls back. That's a whiff. And the bomb will go down. A 2 versus 4 for NiP here to keep themselves in this one. This will be difficult. Forrest on the AWP, the only man with any points of health remaining. Dennis is critically weak. He's been looking pretty good here, but this is so tough situation. Avangar will come in all at the same time, and you have to have perfect timing. And just ahead of the push, both Forrest and Dennis pick up frags. Dennis, the last man standing now, shows himself again, had to hit that one, and it will be the defuse for Avangar. It will be the map for Avangar. It will be a third and final map for the series.
They finally get there. Looks like they may have lost it in normal time, but Avangar turn things around in overtime and take it to a third and final map. They win each other's maps. I don't think anyone would have predicted Avangar taking train from Ninjas in Pajamas, but here we are.
Yeah, that was definitely a back and forth map for the most part. Avangar looked like they're going to run away with it, and all of a sudden they kind of freeze up under pressure, start doing questionable things, going way too slow, allowing NiP to adjust and over-rotate. And then towards the last 2 rounds, NiP kind of dropped the ball as well, made some key shots and whatnot.
Wild action on train. Very back and forth. Very strange situation. 4 timeout losses in a row for Avangar on the T side, but they managed to bring things back. The pressure is high. They deliver in that last round and then take it to overtime. A smart stave as well on their CT side with those 2 AWPs, I think it's fair to say. Great decision making, that certainly helped. We see Kika almost 3,500 damage, high above, and you do wonder, some of the shots missed in some certain spots for Ninjas in Pyjamas maybe would have changed the tide of things, but that is that. So we're going to quickly go to Inferno because we're about an hour behind at the moment, so we'll try and catch up as best we can. Inferno will be the third and final decider to see who's going to stop whom from making it to the finals at the very least. Tune in, we've got more action coming very soon.